So I said I was going to do these movie news episodes when there was enough news, but there has been so much news today that I cannot help but make a video right now, like right now. And I just made one a few hours ago, but geez Louise, we have a lot of animation news. Some I'm really excited about, some I'm not so excited about. But I got some thoughts, I got some things to say. So let's start off with the one that I'm probably going to forget after I mention it. So I just want to mention it first. Lloyd of the Flies. This is from an Aardman Studios production. Now, if you don't know Aardman, they are a British animation studio that is responsible for Shaun the Sheep, Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit, and a bunch of claymation stuff. They also made Arthur Christmas, which was a collaboration with Sony, and they did the animation for that. And so now, officially, their studio is doing their first CG production. Because, like I said, Arthur Christmas and some other projects they've done with CG, like Flushed Away, were not fully made by Aardman animation wise, but they were, they had a lot of involvement in. And this one is going to be a CG animated series. We don't know too much about the plot. They didn't. They just said that there's no real difference between CG and animation or claymation. They're just doing this because they feel like it would better fit the series. Now in the UK, where this is going to release first, because it's made there, it's British. Um, we don't know yet when it's going to come out. I'm an American, so I do know that when this releases, it will come onto Netflix. I really like that Aardman has signed this deal with Netflix to release more films there, but my main issue with that is, well, simply that um, they do not market this stuff very well. Shaun the Sheep one, I think, either just hit Netflix or um, or is going to hit Netflix, which sucks because we have one. We not one. We have the sequel that has come out on Netflix, and the sequel on Netflix is that's a good movie, and I really like that movie. But you could tell it got buried, and I think it's a big issue when Aardman has all these shorts and things that they're going to Netflix, which is a great place for them because they're not going to do well in theaters. Where are you going to release this stuff in terms of TV networks, and things like that? Where would you do that? I think, but my issue with it is Netflix doesn't spend the money marketing it. There should be a page on Netflix called on when you go into like the kids section on Netflix, should say like Aardman and stuff, and you see all that. I think it's a big issue that there isn't. But I will definitely be checking out this series and anything further that Aardman does on Netflix. I'm very excited for anything that they create. They got a lot of stuff that they got planned for Netflix. Chicken Run 2 is one that's especially exciting for me. But yeah, but we will see what goes on with that. Um, the next film we're going to be talking about is Paddington 3 was officially announced. Now, there have been mumblings about Paddington 3, but it seemed like a very closed door with that. Nobody really knew anything. I didn't think it was actually going to happen, um, but they did announce it's happening. They say there's no real details on it. Just it's in active development, which means there isn't much there. It's They did say that the voice of Paddington would probably reprise his role, and that Paul King, the director of the first two films, would not be coming back to direct these. It didn't seem like he wanted to do that. I think he was just satisfied with the first two, which I understand. It just seems very strange. Like, the main reason why these films were so critically acclaimed is because he was a big part of them. And these are great, well written movies, great family movies. If you've never seen them, I think they're both on Netflix and you should watch them. They're fantastic. They're hilarious. They're heartwarming. Just delightful movies. I always like. I don't. I'm not one to usually say it's a feel good movie or a really fun movie, but Paddington is that, and I think. I've only met very few people who really do not like these movies. Everyone talks very highly of them. They're very good word of mouth movies. Just fantastic movies. I love them. So I'm very excited for this one. I don't know if we'll be going to theaters though. We'll see how that turns out. HBO Max announced a couple. They actually announced a lot of stuff. Mostly Cartoon Network stuff, but they announced some Looney Tunes programs. That we have Bugs Builder or something like that, where we don't know too much about this one except that him and Lola are running an acne corporation that builds stuff, and they shouldn't be near it. I don't understand. I don't understand the point of this series. Sounds very weird in concept. It was one of those things that I'd rather them just not announce it or announce it and then and put out a trailer. Because it's just such a weird announcement. Like I don't think anybody's gonna look at that announcement and go, "Wow, I'm excited about this." And the other one they announced is a Sylvester Tweety Mystery Show, which is a live action animation hybrid with podcasting teen girl. I don't understand what the point of this is. There's the Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, but this has nothing to do with that. They even took out Sylvester in the title, so I don't know what this is. It seems like it's trying to be very modern from the description, but again, this is another thing where I don't really know what this is and how to feel about it until I see actual footage. So I'd rather you just not say anything until there's actual footage to show off of it, because again, I don't think this is one of those announcements that they're going to be getting hashtags and things like that about on Twitter and stuff like that. It's just a weird announcement to put out there. Then they announced a preschoolers Tom and Jerry show that is it's musical and educational. I think this is going to be part of the Cartoon Network preschool block we hear about, because it seems like Warner Animation and Cartoon Network kind of merging together and just putting more on each other's platforms. Like, Close Enough is on HBO Max, and that's a Cartoon Network Studios production, even though it's more of an adult show. But, we see that type of thing. So we kind of see things going back and forth. Personally, I don't like the idea of a Tom and Jerry for little kids like this. I think if you're going to make preschool shows, you should make original productions. I mean, it's different when it's like something like Muppet Babies or Mickey Mouse, because those things were always kind of appealing to little kids. And Muppet Babies, it just makes sense, they're babies, right? But it's kind of like that Rocketeer thing Disney did. They did there's the movie The Rocketeer, which is like a PG-13 action movie, and they're like, oh, we'll make a kid Disney Junior show out of it. Just don't do stuff like that. That's my status on stuff like that. It's very dumb to do things like that. I think if you're going to make something for kids, make it a little for preschoolers, make it its own thing. Don't bog down other properties. But at the end of the day, it's fine. I'm not upset about this news or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of a thing that happened. But those are, we still have I think there's supposed to be an HBO Max Tom and Jerry series that's supposed to be a spinoff of the movie that is coming out, not this Friday, but next Friday on HBO Max, which who knows how that's going to be. But yeah, and then we had the news that Ben 10 is getting 3 specials. They didn't announce that these were part of the reboot, but it's pretty obvious they're part of the reboot, and these are going to be possible finales to the series. I don't care about this reboot. I don't watch it, but I was interested in this news because it announced that Generator X was going to be part of it. Personally, I feel like this is pretty messed up to me, because I think a lot of people want Generator X as a series to come back, and this is kind of like the Teen Titans Go thing, where they say, hey, we're going to put characters out there, and they're going to come back that you like from the original, and then they just troll fans and mess with them. And I really don't like that. I think if you want to excite fans with Generator X, cool. Then make an actual sequel or movie based on Generator X or a revival, whatever. Don't put him into some other piece of garbage reboot. And that's why I don't watch this show, because I've seen enough of it to know I wouldn't like it. It's obviously geared at younger audiences, even more so than the original. There's just no reason for this. Speaking of Teen Titans Go, they announced The Night Begins to Shine spinoff series. I just wish this show would end. I think the disgusting behavior that the cast and crew behind the show has displayed towards fans. They just don't respond to criticism well, and I get it. It's popular with kids, but why this? You, I think we're reaching the end of Teen Titans Go. I think they understand that they have such a limited reach that a spinoff is the next way to go before they have to shut down and stop making this show. There was a total drama revival announced, or continuation. So everyone thought it was just going to continue with the preschool show, but I never watched that show. I don't really care, but cool. It's coming back for you fans who are excited about that. It was announced that a Gumball movie was in development. We don't know if the creator is involved with this, but he said that basically, uh, this is supposed to fix the cliffhanger on the finale. We don't know when this is coming out, what the details are. Again, it is in active development, so that just means that they're starting the process of making it, basically. Or, and I'm excited. I'm excited about this. As someone who was disappointed with the finale, I didn't understand. I didn't understand the bullcrap Cartoon Network was doing. First of all, you had this series. You could have made more episodes. You didn't need the creator there. I know it would have been like a SpongeBob thing, but with Gumball, I think it would have worked out. And it wasn't like the creator was the only thing that made it good. And you could have just finished a movie, something like that. But they trolled fans. They made like clip shows and bullcrap. And I just make more episodes if you want to make more episodes. It's better than trolling fans. And I want to see this movie. But yeah, I think that's everything they announced. There was very little preschool stuff announced, which is weird because I think everyone flipped out about the preschooler thing. Look, Cartoon Network is at a state where all the good content that you really want to watch, like Infinity Train, are going to go to HBO Max. And they're not going to be funding bigger projects on Cartoon Network. We don't know how much of this stuff that I'm talking about in this video are going to HBO Max. I think Gumball, Ben 10, and Total Drama are all going to go to Cartoon Network, and then the rest, HBO Max. Aside from the ones that have already been confirmed for me, HBO Max. But I think that's what's going to happen because basically that's where we're at. They're not going to put much focus into the cable channel because it's not where the money is. I mean, we were talking about a few years ago where people talked about Cartoon Network a lot. Nobody does that anymore. No one watches this channel anymore. It's dead. And I think people have focused their eyes on streaming, and this is where we're headed. And so I think all the content that you want to see from Cartoon Network that's really big for you, cool. You should watch that on HBO Max because that's where it's going to be. And I think all the other stuff is just not going to be that big a deal. There might be one or two things like a Gumball movie, and that will go to HBO Max eventually anyways, right? Because they're owned by the same company. And so that's what we're seeing here. I really like these projects, and I'm just saying this is where it's going. And I think some people are mad that there's a preschool block. Well, I think it's their way of saying, look, not many people are going to be watching our channel. All those older people who used to watch Adventure Time when it aired, they're not going to be doing that because, well, all that content is on HBO Max now, and they're going to be watching that stuff. And so that target audience has disappeared. So the main people who are going to be watching cable are, well, little kids, and it's also just cheaper to make preschooler shows and things like that. So there's just a lot of reasons why that's happening. And again, you shouldn't have to watch preschooler shows. And they announced all these projects, right? So it shows that they still want to make projects for that channel, and so there's still gonna be stuff. It's not like, oh, they're dead now. It's just they're changing a little bit because, well, they have to. This is where the television industry is going, streaming, all that involved, that's where it's headed. And we need to pay attention to that. And we need to support the content we like. A lot of these companies on streaming don't advertise their stuff very well. So you got to, I would if you have a streaming service you really like, subscribe to their YouTube channel so you can keep up to date with trailers, footage, clips, stuff like that. If you're interested in any of that stuff, and just check every week into the service. Like go in to the new tab or something, see what's going on there. Add things to your watch list that you're excited about so you don't forget. Stuff like that. And just be aware, because this is a time where you have to support the content you like, otherwise it doesn't get made. And I think that's very important. So if you're excited about any of this stuff, let me know. And if I missed any news stories, probably will be in the next one, but feel free to put them down in the comments below.